Sean,
What?
this is the cold open. Or I guess it's not a cold open.
No.
I guess it's not a cold open. It's
There
is
not
a theme.
allowed to say this is the cold open.
Well, just so you know that this is what we're doing. So, Sean.
The hours I've watched of Saturday Night Live, sweet Lord Michaels presenting his lovely product to us, the American audience. I have never seen Will Ferrell turn to camera and tell us all, Sherry O'Terry, this is the cold open.
I feel like the one after 9/11, they said, this is the cold open.
Okay, that's the one time.
And then they probably did a somber musical guest. You know, it's like Don Pardo's like shedding a tear thinking about those towers.
Musical guest, I'm crying.
Musical guest, a television set showing you the bombing. No, I guess it wasn't. No, it's bombings, guys. It's bombings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who else is bombing this cold open?
Okay, so
James.
Sean.
Yeah.
There is a movie called Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, and a quick rundown of it. Jesus Christ needs to protect lesbians from vampires, and he recruits world-famous professional wrestler Santos.
Bon Jovi. Oh, never mind.
So, during this movie, it's Jesus and Santos fighting vampires to protect the lesbian community.
What year Santos are we getting?
Oh, well, this is an unofficial Santos. This is 2001. So
This is Santos with 3 S's.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, but it's portrayed as Santos. We did it for this movie's gay because of, the lesbians. And it's a batshit movie. It's a writer-director team. It is Lee...
The Farley brothers.
No, ew. It is Lee DeMarbre and Ian Driscoll.
Okay.
I looked into their other movies,
Okay.
and they got a movie called The Dead Sleep Easy, Sean.
Off the top of my head, it sounds like kind of just a fun, real pulpy, kind of like, like a grindhouse, like something you catch at the drive-in. Yeah.
It is. So it's a Mexican wrestler entangled with the mob seeks revenge after a group of Mexican migrants are massacred in a human smuggling ring.
Okay.
And there's the lead actor is the Champ.
That's what I'm waiting for.
It's the Champ, Jonathan.
John Cena?
No, Ian Hodgkinson, a.k.a. Vampiro,
baby!
We got another one to watch.
Oh, my God. So we just recorded, this is a day after, I don't know how they release, of the Patreon, straight to Patreon, the Vampiro movie.
Sean, technically, a day after, yesterday, we released the Vampiro.
I forgot we do this immediately. Yeah, and so if you heard that, you know how Nicole felt about the last Vampiro movie, but I really think we're going to win her back with this one.
Well, she enjoyed, from my knowledge, or from what she saw of it, Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, which my brother and sister-in-law fucking love that movie without me even telling them about it. Like, they watched it independently, and we were talking about like crazy movies to watch, and my brother's like, oh, there's this one you probably haven't seen it called Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter, and I'm like, dude, we did that for this movie's gay.
I've definitely heard of that movie. I've not seen it, but like it's definitely out of all those like sort of fun schlocky type of film cinemas. Like it's definitely out there. It's definitely like it's definitely beloved.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so let's see what the fuck I just can't wait to see Vampiro some more. Just like these sweet listeners can't wait to hear about Sweaty Times Pro Wrestling.
Sean, you get it wrong every time. It's Sweaty Time.
I change it every time, baby.
No, you don't. No, it's not changed.
Effervescent and liquid like the sea.
Effervescence isn't what?
Welcome to the podcast for old wrestling fans and new wrestling fans and fans who just want to get down to sounds.
Okay. I was like, down to sounds? No, we are sounds. No. We're waveforms moving in them goddamn ears.
Mm-hmm. This is me and James watching through season 1 of Lucha Underground.
Los Lucha Underground, the Faceless Heroes.
And if you're new to this podcast, welcome on in. If you're an old school wrestling fan, that's awesome. So am I. I've been a big time fan for way too much of my life.
And if you're here to just clown with the sound, you came to the right place.
Hell yeah. We got new fans, we got old fans, we got big fans, we got small fans, we got box fans, we got circle fans.
Oh, damn, we got box cutters.
Oh, baby, and you're about to box cut up on some underground. Fuck, I did not transition to this segment well, but we have a segment on this show.
Box cutters will kill you and put you underground, and we're about to unearth you, baby. That's a transition.
That's the name of the segment, too. That's a good transition.
Unearth the underground. Yeah, you need to get good at segments.
I know.
We need R2 Shelby 2
fine.
on because R2 is very good at transitions. Listen to the Rom Complex or formulaic, you sucker bitches. Are you ready for Unearth the Underground?
I am absolutely ready for Unearth the Underground.
And this one needs to go quick because, Sean, we need to stop recording at 4.
Yeah, it's fair.
So, Sean, when did Lucha Underground come out?
2014.
Okay, well, the year is 2015, and I'm prepping to go to a sold-out show at East Room here in Chicago on September 20th by myself because, ooh, baby, Nicole was like, I don't want to go to a punk rock show. The girl at the punk show.
Remember when you said this had to go quickly?
It was a punk rock show, as I said. Headliner is now self-excommunicated only to get out ahead of the Lured by Burger Records movement of 2020. It sucks because that dude, he put out great music and got me through the best worst summer of 2013. But it's hard to listen knowing the shit he did. So fuck that dude.
Yep.
But
yep.
However, Jonathan, one great thing that came from that concert that, remember how I said it was sold out? I think it was oversold because it was a goddamn sardine room. You've heard of what kind of rooms can we have? You've heard
sardine
of East
room.
Yeah, you've heard of East Room? Well, this is a goddamn sardine room. So, the opening band was called Paul Cherry, and they start out with a cover of Cherry Bomb. I could be wrong, though. No one challenged me on what came up in the set list and where. The lead singer had this like big puffy hair and dressed in a tailored suit covered in classic slot machine cherry icons or a Pac-Man cherries in a remastered update. They weren't like all 8-bit. It wasn't that kind of retro, guys.
You could have also just said cherries.
It's Cherry Bomb like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, the set is rocking. I'm already on board. But a couple songs in, a man who looks very much like the lead singer comes from a side door that is on the stage that leads outside. He waltzes on stage and gets into a fight over the mic with the lead singer.
Wait, the lead singer from the last band.
No, the lead singer from Paul Cherry. All of a sudden, a man who looks kind of like this lead singer walks on stage and starts getting into a fight. So this outdoorsman who just came from this outdoors thing, he boots the lead singer off stage, demands the music stop, then shouts to the band. I'm paraphrasing, of course. I don't have this great of memory. I'm not Mary Lou Henner. Says, what the fuck? I'm walking down the street only to see on the marquee of the East Room, insert headliner here, featuring Paul Cherry. And I'm thinking, I didn't know I had a show tonight because I'm Paul Cherry.
What?
And I come on to see my band playing with an imposter.
What in the wide world of evil clones is this fucking concept?
He says, but since I'm here and all, let's get to rock, and then puts out a fucking show. It was like a bit, like they started it with this person who looked very much like him, and then Paul Cherry comes on, and I've been a fan ever since. Like, I was instantly hooked. It was amazing. I fell in love. And I ran home, technically hopped on the 50, went north from Wicker Park, and just kept going to wherever my old apartment was.
That's just, I love I also love how you can see where that bit started. Like that like that was definitely this dude looks like me. All right, let's figure something out. Like that came first. Discovering that, hey, you kind of look like me definitely comes first, and then everything else.
Unless it was his like brother, then it's like, hey, let's just do this.
Maybe it was his brother. You never found out exactly.
I never found out, but I did email him to be like, hey, new fan. That I should have read the email, but I was mainly looking to see what date that event was. It was just like, hey, saw you back in September. This is in November. And I was like, hey, and this is when I finally bought On Top on Bandcamp. It's great start to finish. You have a really nice sound and looking forward to more. And then I was going to see him live, specifically him, and that's why. And then like I talked to him afterwards.
Yay.
He said, dude, thank you so much for this email. It really made my day. And I've had a few of those emails. To John Clark Bailey Jr., I sent one after finding his stuff, Wage Slaves, at Quimby. And then he eventually, he's the one who did the cover art for King Kaiser X.
Nice. I think it's the Marty and Sarah podcast. Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. Great podcast. But I think they had like, I won't say like a full on like promotion or whatever, but they had this thing going for a long time where it'd always just be like, hey, reminder, if you feel like reaching out to an artist or performer or just someone you enjoy, feel free to, because usually it's people like to hear nice things, and we all get like wrapped up in our own things so often.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, reaching out and just be like, hey, I saw you the other night. You were really great. It's like the coolest, nicest, best thing to ever wake up to.
Yeah, if you see someone bring out like their email address and say like, hey, send me something, go for it. As long as it's not a backhanded compliment or a negative thing. If you're just like, I fucking love you, you're good. Yeah, that's going to make our days.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of those things like, obviously, use your brain, you big old dum-dums. That's why we're not Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. We're fucking edgy. But it's so, if you have the time and you feel the move to, like, sometimes you see a wrestler for the first time, you go check out their Twitter, you want to slide into those DMs. Hey, I never saw you before. I can't wait to see you again. You were phenomenal. I love what you do.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
But Sean, back to Paul Cherry.
Yes, please.
On Top, it was released in 2014 by Field Trip Records here in Chicagoland, Illinois. It's a 6-track EP digitally, that is. But if you own the cassette like I do, which I believe I got from Bric-a-Brac. Like, I saw it at Bric-a-Brac. I already owned the digital. I was like, I gots to buy this, which I did for, eventually we'll talk about another person later on who did music videos for this person. But,
ooh, foreshadowing.
This cassette has 3 more songs on it. You'll also get Chelsea the Jealous Type, parenthetical is the Jealous Type, an outro, and a song called Breadstick Ballad dedicated to Olive Garden that came from a back and forth Twitter interaction between Paul Cherry and the Garden that ended with him creating this song and receiving a swag bag directly from Olive Garden corporate.
Do you hear that, Madison Square Garden? You are no longer the Garden. James has taken that title away from MSG and given it to the one, the only, and you're here, your family.
Yeah, it's the OG Garden, the Olive Garden.
Absolutely. I'll fucking, if you meet me at an Olive Garden, I will die for you because you are my family and I don't understand boundaries.
Olive Garden is so good, guys. Go there, eat fresh, eat family.
James, is it real apparent that I'm coming straight off of a meeting I was not prepared for?
No.
I feel like I got loose energy. I got like a real like prolapse anus, real loose butthole energy.
Well, I was already going to say this before you started going scatological, but I mean, you didn't go scatological. You said you got loose energy. I got loose stool.
Okay, great. Oh, you know what? All right, let's go. All
right.
This podcast is back on track.
Back on my podcast. That's a riff on a later Paul Cherry song. But this EP has a great collection of both upbeat tracks and mellow lounge type songs that would end up being his focus on later albums. But I highly recommend this and the others. Quick recs on this are Everybody's Burning Out, Hey There Brother, and The Addicts. However, listening to Paul Cherry turned me on to the directors of his and the producers of his music videos, who were done by alt-pop mainstays Dorian Electra and Westo Allen. Check their shit out, guys, especially our musical ode to the clitoris. It is so fucking good. The clitoris, it's my anatomy. It's so fucking good. Check out Dorian Electra. Their visuals are so fucking good, guys.
Now, James.
What's up?
The clitoris.
Yeah.
That real?
Oh yeah, it was mapped digitally, and it's 4 times the size that you would have thought it was. It goes inside. It's so huge, the clitoris.
I don't know. The problem if I start believing in the clitoris, like what? I'm not gonna be able to believe in Jesus next? Get out of here.
No, Jesus was a big proponent for the clitoris.
What? Hold on.
Jesus ate out so much.
Holy shit.
That's why he was always on his knees. He wasn't washing feet. That was like, he would show like feet being scrubbed, but really he was munching down on some clit.
Yeah, just like we're munching down on some great fucking wrestling this week.
Oh, and Sean, you know how like people say like do the alphabet? This is a real quick thing. Jesus would do like ancient runes to bless their vagina.
I like that it's not a miracle. He's essentially performing like level 7 wizardry in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition.
Yeah.
I buy that.
Wait, oh yeah, 9th level. I was going to be like, does it go up to 7th level spells? But 9th, I know, is the biggest.
Yeah, you fucking nerds. We know what we're talking about. Don't you come at me. Don't you dare come at me unless we're in the Olive Garden, in which case you do whatever you need to do to my body. I will give everything for my family. Bust out the Coronas, baby.
Yeah.
I'm Diesel AF.
I'll cast a 9th level blight on your ass.
I'm going to hang out with Ludacris.
Dang, what? Where did that come from?
Fast and the Furious.
Okay. Did you say Fast and the Furious?
I think I referenced family and Coronas.
Oh, okay. I got it.
I'm not saying it wasn't a leap. And that's the end of that. It was a big old big old leap.
You want to know what else is a big old leap?
Fucking Phoenix, baby. That beautiful high-flying bastard.
Or Johnny Mundo from when he jumped from the ropes onto the ladder.
Yeah, or
Frogger.
But one of these things was not in the episode.
I guess he does little leaps.
He does little leaps.
Little leaps of faith.
Leaper. Or a leap. Frogger believes in Jesus.
Oh my God. Remember when Seinfeld did the Frogger?
Yep.
God.
And thank you for listening. I just close it here. That's the podcast. We ask you one thing. Maybe you remembered this.
Remember when they were like, hey, it's 10 cents. It's only 5 cents in New York. So let's do 2 federal crimes?
Yep.
In
Thank
Seinfeld?
you for listening to Sweaty Times Pro Wrestling. Maybe it's Sweaty Times Pro Seinfeld.
Oh my God. You're pro Seinfeld, I hear.
Oh, I've always been pro Seinfeld.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because he didn't have sex with the teenage girl he dated while she was in high school and he was 30-something. Isn't that cool that he got to date a high school girl and was still fucking Seinfeld? I hate comedy. I really do. I hate everything. I hate comedy. I hate pop culture. I hate Burger Records. I hate everything except the Olive Garden. Thank you to the Olive Garden, the OG Garden. Fuck Madison Square. Fuck the Knicks. Fuck WrestleMania. It's all about the temple, baby.
Yeah, you are pro Jerry Seinfeld. I'm pro Orny Adams.
How's he doing?
I don't know. I guess he's best known for his role as Coach Bobby Finstock on the MTV series Teen Wolf. He finally got out of the shadow of that dude.
Of the documentary comedian.
Yeah.
That was one of those ones. I remember seeing that when I was in high school and being like, oh my God, comedy, the world of comedy. I love comedy. But I never really thought to go back and I feel like they buried Orny Adams, probably unfairly.
No, I mean the community at large did. I remember him being on probably Sklar Bro Country talking about it. Of the documentary made him kind of a like secondary focus. He didn't want to, like he didn't ask for that, but people were like, oh, why aren't they? It's like fucking people with Halloween Ends. Hey guys, possible Halloween Ends spoilers. Skip forward. Do you care if I spoil Halloween Ends?
I do not plan on seeing this film.
Okay, so it is an exploration of generational.
Clitoris.
Yes.
That's okay. That's better.
Of generational woes and evil, pretty much. It's showing like evil can be passed down, and people are like, I can't believe it got supernatural in here. Fucking the first movie is supernatural. I don't care how strong you assholes are. If you get shot like 5 times and stabbed multiple times, you've been running in a jumpsuit all goddamn night, you are going to die when you fall off from a 2-story banister. I don't care. It's supernatural. Oh my God. And then, oh, the boogeyman, is he dead? He is the boogeyman. It's supernatural. So, like, in this new movie, people would have been pissed if Mike Myers didn't die in the end. They would have been like, I thought it ends. But now they're pissed because he does die in the end. But, oh, we only saw him for like 7% of the movie and he's a weak man. Yes, he's 70-some years old. Of course he's going to be weak. Because then, oh, if he was strong and overpowerful, like, oh, I don't know, Halloween fucking Kills? Oh, he's a 70-year-old man. Oh, why is he so strong? Oh, I know my dad. He's pretty strong. And he can beat up other dads at 72, but he'd never be able to murder 20 people when there's an entire riot. And it's still supernatural in that movie because people shot him with a shotgun point blank and then beat him with pipes and he's still living. And of course he's going to be weak. He's been in a sewer sleeping on cement for 3 years. So...
yeah.
He gets evil. Like this other person named Corey who like they kill a kid right in the beginning. And Nicole, we joked. We were like, oh, like it would be like really funny or like, oh, like a big fuck you to people who didn't like Halloween Kills. They start it right away with killing a child. That's how it starts. So it's an accident. This kid is then like branded as a monster for accidentally killing this child. So
okay, he Walk Hard. He Dewey Cox Walk Hard. His,
yes.
I'm assuming it's his brother or something.
No.
Okay.
This kid Corey. He's like 20 or like a late teen, early 20s. Accidentally kills someone he's babysitting. But this little shit had it coming because he locked Corey in this attic space, and he's like, open up. So he like kicks the door down, and the door hits the kid. He falls off like the 3rd floor. Also, like it's kind of the house's fault. Okay, this is house 3rd story. Okay,
it really goes to prove there's such a fine line between Dewey Cox.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers.
So this kid ends up like getting dragged into the sewer by Michael Myers, and he tries to leave, and Michael Myers like tries to choke him out, but like they meet in each other's eyes, and like a transference of evil happens.
Okay. They're trading Pokemon cards, but those Pokemon cards are unwanted thoughts.
Yes. So
great.
Then the entire movie is about him kind of taking this legacy and killing the people in the town that kind of deserve it. Like they're assholes and have done him wrong, and his eyes are dying, and he's clearly becoming another boogeyman. And that's so like people are pissed that like Orny Adams, that it's the Corey story and not Mike Myers. Dude, Mike Myers should die, and that's Halloween Ends is now it's my favorite Halloween movie.
Out of like all
13?
Of the Halloween movies?
Yeah.
Oh man. Interesting.
I've seen them all, baby.
I almost want to see it.
It's so good.
The problem is I don't want to see it and then I have to look you in the eyes, understanding you think this is better than Season of the Witch?
I will say
Silver Shamrock is a banger.
Nicole watched it with me, and she agreed, not that it's the best one, but agrees like this movie rocks. My sister also agrees it rocks and agrees because I'm like, who does this main character look like? And I'm like, holy shit, this looks like my brother. Then I messaged my sister. I was like, you got to watch this movie. The lead actor is our brother. And then she messaged me back saying, hey, this movie one is gnarly and holy shit, this dude is our brother.
Then there was, I heard about this. I saw this in the news. There was a screening and your brother was walking by. And for whatever reason, the movie screen was like, you could see the movie screen from the window. And your brother gets real pissed. He walks into the theater, doesn't pay for a ticket, walks up to the screen, punches the screen out. And just like, I walked by and I saw my name on the marquee. This is crazy. Here's a song about a clitoris.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into Lucha Underground.
Okay. I know we've gone off the rails when I drop a tangent, and even James is like, hold on, we got to get this back on track.
No, I loved the callback. Sharna is bowing right now.
Sharna, you piece of trash. I just found out IO's coming back.
Whoa,
I don't know
really?
how much I can talk. I don't know how much I can talk about. I'm sure it's somewhat public, but yeah, no Sharna.
That's good.
That's great. Yeah, I have a friend who's working with them to bring it back.
It's Matt Besser.
Yep, my dear friend Matt Besser. I'm excited. No, but it's exciting. Yeah, if you're in Chicago, support IO. There's no more Sharna. And if you're a Sharna helper, the fuck are you doing listening to this podcast?
Hey, no. Keep listening. Just don't message us. Just keep listening.
Please.
Listen from multiple devices as well. And hopefully you have multiple iPhones with different Apple accounts. Put reviews 5 stars on all of them.
Yeah. Make sure you listen to this and review this 5. Fuck, James, what's going on?
Oh, today we're watching episode 7, season 1 of Lucha Underground, entitled, Up in the Ladders.
Top of the ladder.
All
Do
right.
you call it upping the ladders?
No, Up in the Ladders.
Oh, okay. Close. Yeah, top of the ladder is the name of the episode.
Top of the ladder to ya.
And top of the ladder to you, laddie. There is no dark matches this week. We just get the recap.
Good.
This newer, darker Chavo's kind of sexy as hell.
He's been hot in this entire thing.
Dude, Chavo's fucking can get it.
It's insane how much of a jobber ass he is in WWE in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I should just take that entire sentence over again. But I'm not editing any of it. Who gives a shit?
Especially when you realize Chavo was part of the Smackdown 6. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess a quick rundown if you're not. When SmackDown, when Paul Heyman took over creatively on the SmackDown show, which was the secondary WWE show, the idea was that he had 6 great wrestlers who really didn't get a big shot before that he was going to put over. Here are 6 guys who should be top stars, pretty much. And they all are. Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Edge, Rey Mysterio, and Chavo Guerrero was the 6th member of the SmackDown. They were putting a lot of their eggs in the Chavo basket. But even in WCW...
I'll drink some stinky eggs in his basket. Hey-yo!
God, him and his stinky asshole.
Out of my cloaca, not my asshole.
Thank you. All praise cloacism.
I bow.
Thank you. I know we heard.
Yeah, I don't know if people can hear a bow. They can hear a smile, but they don't know if we can hear bow.
But Chavo and WCW even. I want to make sure I make this point though. Was always a great hand, a great worker. One of those guys you could put in a ring with anyone. That's the thing. Not just that he looks good, but you could put him in a ring with anyone, and he's gonna pull a good match out of you.
He's a great eager hand.
He's a very eager hand with fun character stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen Chavo Guerrero ride around the ring on one of those pony sticks. You know, it's like a stick and you put a horse head on it.
Okay.
And you pretend you're riding a horse.
I thought you were just mispronouncing pogo stick.
No, like a pogo stick, but there's no po and there's more D. No, okay. It's a pogo stick, no go, add NY.
Yes,
York,
you
baby.
already said that. Okay.
No, I said po. I fucked it up the first time, and then I fixed it because I'm great. But Chavo was always kind of just I guess you could say in some ways a little bit. A lot of people's shadow, because obviously not just Eddie, but Ray and the entire Billy Kidman in that cruiserweight division. But always it's so cool, and it's so cool to see post WWE Chavo to really anywhere he goes, it's always a smaller sort of federation or a smaller business. But Chavo's fucking great, and it's okay, yeah, we can afford to really push Chavo. He's such a piece of shit. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's a great heel. At the beginning of the first 2 episodes, he's a great babyface. People want to cheer for Chavo, too.
Even in this one, they were cheering for him.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to... Yeah, in the Chavo match, people fucking love them some Chavo.
Sean, can I say something real
Piece
quick?
of trash, please.
In our reoccurring bits, I was like, what does Soa King mean? I was like, why did I write down Soa King? And I was like, oh, So King. I forgot that was part of it. But also, Sean, is a wrestling ring the biggest snare drum in the world?
It's either that or Paul Bunyan's.
Okay.
Depends. And it depends where you go. Like, I know World of Sports has a smaller ring. British Style has a smaller ring. But usually, yes, it is the largest snare drum in the world. Why do you ask?
Oh, it's just when people slam on it, it sounds like a drum. Looks kind of like one, too.
I would never accuse you of having a idea, but knowing how you take notes and how you occasionally get yourself a little zooted sometimes for media, I might accuse you of being high when you wrote that down.
No, I was very sober. I watched this in the morning.
I lost that bet then. Shit. They're going to break my leg. They're going to break my legs at the Olive Garden.
Have you never listened to Mostly Speakin' Sentai? Most of the things seem like high ideas, but I'm stone sober.
This is very true. I think that was my first impression when I first met you was, this dude's crazy. Let's go.
He tokes that herb.
That guy smokes marijuana. And I'm smoking this fucking card.
Yes. So the first match, we're seeing like the briefcase is above them the entire time.
Yeah.
And it would have been very funny if like the direction they took with this episode is it's Phoenix and Superfly.
King Cuerno and Superfly is the first match.
It would have been funny if Superfly just like somehow like jumped real good, grabbed the briefcase and ran away with it.
That would have been, it's one of those things. I get why that'd be a lot to add to all these matches, and in a way that no one else gets the briefcase. It might like make everyone else look bad if they were trying to go for it. Mm-hmm. That all being said, that would have been a fucking awesome B line, like a B plot to this entire running. Like, listen, it's up there. If you can, you still need to win your match. But if you could also grab the briefcase before your match ends, like, I can't stop you. Our main event's fucked, but you just made 100K.
Or they team up. It's King Cuerno and Superfly. King Cuerno puts on his antlered deer hat, then jumps on the shoulders of Superfly, and then with the antlers kind of like undoes the rope that's tied onto the briefcase. It drops down and they run and it becomes like a I'm hunting Cuerno. They have to get another hunter to hunt the hunted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So, okay. I would have loved that. Or even like if it's just oh my God, I'm dying. I'm so sorry.
We're all technically dying.
This is true. Or fucking Danny Trejo, who is in this episode.
I only have one note about him, and that's in the Chavo match. So I'll get to my thoughts.
Okay, and I should say, I'm sorry, it's not Danny Trejo. Machete is in the crowd tonight. They cut to him. He's in the front row. And like this is, you've seen it in WWE too. Someone has something to promote. Oh, look, it's the guys from Riverdale. That show's coming on, see whatever. You can catch it, whatever. Mm-hmm. The problem, they never say when the movie's coming out. Maybe it's already out. They don't really talk much about the movie, but they only refer to him as Machete.
I feel like that came out in like 2009.
That's not true.
2010.
What the fuck are we doing here?
He's just a celebrity in the crowd.
No, Danny Trejo is a celebrity.
They do say Danny Trejo, and then they do, and then they say Machete himself.
Okay, because I feel like I've only heard them call him Machete.
No.
They call him Machete. They may have called, I think they might call, then they probably call him Danny Trejo once. Yeah. And then they refer to Machete like 5 times throughout the show.
Or maybe you're too busy being like, oh, wonder what Dan Meltzer has to say about this match.
Dan Meltzer is more like it. He reviews dairy.
Oh, he does?
Dan Meltzer? Yeah.
Okay. Meltzer, what's this chud's name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
God.
I'm trying to get on the good side of Dan Milkster so that when my secret milkshake recipe comes out, I get that golden 5-star review. The secret is juice. I use juice.
See, I use breast milk in my shakes.
Gross.
Yep.
Ew. What? No. Never.
Alicia
No.
Silverstone hooks me up, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Or wait,
Is Alicia
yeah.
Silverstone selling breast milk?
She is a very big vegan and proponent of. She was trying to sell breast milk ice cream, but had issues with it because you can't ship it because it's technically, in quotes, like biohazardous. Not hazardous, but like it's bio waste or something. It was hard to ship, so it kind of put a damper in it. And real quick on Alicia Silverstone, watch Vamps, guys. It's so good. And it's so cartoonish. They use rats instead of eating humans. They use rats as Capri Suns. They like just poke a straw in it. Yeah, it's very funny.
Oh man, I can't believe I've never heard of that movie. I must have been real clueless. Boom, skaboom, skaboom, skaboom.
Written by the same Amy Heckerling.
Nice. Wait, who also wrote Clueless? She wrote Vamps? Nice. Yep. Clueless is like a solid flick, man. I feel like every time I come back to that, I expect it to not hold up. Mm-hmm. And it always holds up a little bit better than I thought it would.
So I described Vamps as Amy Heckerling could have just done like Sex in the City version of Clueless, because it's like, oh, this is how old Alicia Silverstone is now. This is what she would be doing in New York. But instead she's like, all right, we'll do something like that, but they're vampires. And it's like, yeah.
That's what we came to see. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. But yeah, not too much to get into. They get straight into the match on this one.
They do explain Superfly, and I think Vampiro says, or Stryker says, anyone can learn, do your research.
Yeah, Matt Stryker kind of mentions that Superfly won. I didn't write it down, and I immediately was like, I should go back and write that down. It was a mask v match. I think it was Super Callow.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Super Callow is going to be real sad to hear you say that.
No, the match doesn't matter. Like, what did he say?
No, yeah, he said it was a mask v mask match, a mask wager. The loser of the mask, usually as two luchadors, must take off their mask and lose their identity, and it's very sad. There was a recent one with Villano and Pentagon Jr. Just had one at the last AAA show.
PGJ.
It's always a big crazy deal because like it's literally the end of an era for you. But that is to say, yeah, Superfly. Looks like he began around 2001. Stayed mostly around AAA and Mexico, but like so is in the business, has been wrestling professionally for over 10 years at this point.
Ogre 10 years.
Okay. James, I'm going to ask you to follow up on that.
You know, like Shrek the Third, the wait is ogre. I've been waiting ogre 10 years for Shrek 5.
Give us Shrek, you cowards. God damn it. John Lithgow, you piece of shit. I'm sure it's his fault. I'm sure it's John Lithgow's fault.
Yeah, he's trying to get back at... He's trying to become the dark passenger in Decca's mind. He's like, hey, the dad can be it, and Decca and sister can be it. Why can't the Trinity Killer be it?
Yeah. And then they're like, John, we're talking about Shrek. And he's like, I'm not. And then we gotta sit John Lithgow down and brainwash him.
He's like, Third Rock from the Sun. The Shrek series is a turd cock, ya hun.
Yeah, he's like, Third Rock from the Sun? How about third cock on a nun?
Ooh.
I go into confessionals and I jerk off.
Dude, me three.
Oh,
the Mighty
man.
Ducks.
Quack, quack, quack.
Quack,
Ducks fly
quack.
Together. I really did. I want to talk about, I've not seen Superfly before though. This is my first time seeing him. I really enjoyed watching him. What did you think of the Cuerno Superfly match? It's a short one.
I liked it, and Drago's in the background looking menacing, but is overshadowed by...
Ogre shadowed.
Ooh, there we go.
Hey.
By a teen girl behind him just nervously biting her fingernails during the match.
Oh, I didn't see her.
It looked at first like she was putting on like chapstick, but no, she's like biting her cuticles.
I wonder how much of that is also just like Drago, and I love that this is the first, like, Cuerno, I think at this point twice has been sort of like stalking Drago. Cuerno would watch from the rafters, and now Drago's finally like, hey, fuck that shit. I could also stand up. I like that twist. I like that turnaround is fair play from Drago.
What they should have had is him set up on a harness from the rafters, and he has like fake wings flapping to show that he's a dragon.
Oh, yeah. In case we forgot he was a dragon.
Yeah.
Yes, if I trusted the budget of this show to put up a safe harness.
I would donate.
Yeah, if they had a GoFundMe, then maybe.
GoFundMe for dragon wings.
Truly. I also love Vampiro kind of nails on commentary something I've been saying about Santos Escobar, a.k.a. King Cuerno, for a while now, which he says he like caught up with him backstage, and he emphasizes that Cuerno's tope suicida is like an arrow shot from hell. Everything he does to hurt his opponents. And again, it's just, I love how good he is at really like every move, not just performing the moves, but having every movement of his body sort of play into the story of his character, this elite, efficient hunter. Mm-hmm. Like he's not just doing topes because they're exciting and they're extravagant. He's doing it because it's a direct path of flying his entire force into his opponent. Like all of his drop kicks and all of his knees, he does so many running strikes because it's this direct shot into the opponent. There's even like I think it's a back body drop, and it's such a small thing, but the opponent runs at him, he back body drops his opponent, and then he leaves his arms in the air, and just like, oh, I fucking love it. It's so, he's so good at all those little things in addition to the big things. Mm-hmm. I'm really feeling King Cuerno,
and he wins, baby.
Yep, 3 minutes 58 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, and then
28.
And then we get that promo for Pentagon.
Yep, it's a Pentagon Junior package where we find out he was born in Mexico, traveled to Japan to further his training.
Yeah, he was born in Mexico, then they say he had to go east, far east, like Claremont East.
Yeah.
That's a joke for R2, and I think that's it. Or people who live in Los Angeles.
Matt Besser, my friend, will love that joke.
He lives in East LA?
I don't fucking know. I'm not that good friends with him.
Okay, I thought you were like a huge Improv for Humans guy.
They talk about I'm fucking Olive Garden for Humans is the only allegiance I have to anything. They're cutting this footage also with Pentagon training in his own personal dojo, it looks like, with various sparring partners. They touch on how he had to embrace the dark arts to survive. It wasn't enough to just be skilled and learn the ways. He must also take those ways and meld them to his own style to create his own unique brand of brutality.
Ooh, brutality and bloodshed for all, Gigi Allen style.
Hey, don't talk to me. No.
Ooh, you've been listening to early shit. So they're like, oh yeah, he's unaffiliated, this and that. And I was like, yeah, stay unaffiliated, guys. Don't get into collectives. Don't try to be a part of something. Stay a lone wolf. Prowl the night on your own.
Until you get to Olive Garden, because when you're here, you're family, and I ain't letting you leave unaffiliated. You're my family. Get in my car, drink my Corona. We're gonna go hang out with Ludacris.
No, go to Olive Garden.
What?
Ask for a booth in the corner to eat by yourself, and bring your own velvet rope.
Can't be done. You go to a booth, you eat by yourself. You just look up for a second. For a second, you look down your delicious spaghetti. You look up. There is a delicious, lovely old woman out over on the other side of the booth, and she is telling you stories of when you were a baby and you pooped yourself and everybody laughed. When you're here, you're family.
Damn, I'm going to start going there and screaming, "Oh my God, you were in Halloween Ends!"
Because your brother. It was your brother.
One thing I love about this show, I have 2 notes on it, is that because of this, the matches don't meander at all. They feel like they have a start and a finish, and you never see the middle of it. Like, it's all intended to be there. They're not wasting time. They're giving you this spectacle, which is awesome. And I think this is, from the other wrestling I have experienced, this might be the perfect introductory wrestling series to show someone.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Because like a lot of these guys are established AAA guys, but they're not established in America. So they are like taking the time to kind of walk you through everyone. There are no sort of like real deep, like, oh, who is this guy? You can tune in without knowing anyone. They fill you in real well. Everyone is very athletic and very gifted and are also really great at telling the story, not just doing the moves. Like, when we get to the ladder match, I think, because Mundo is probably the most experienced out of all of them, so I assume he put together a lot of those spots, but they tell such a good story.
Yeah.
Not just exciting. Like, in addition to being like, hey, there's a lot of story I didn't really get it, but it looked real fucking cool. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. That's also there. Like, it really... That's why I wanted to do this for this podcast, was Lucha Underground. I believe that as well. It's so easy to kind of pick up, and they do a great job. Like the Pentagon Junior package. To go back to that, they really spend the time focusing on how it's not that he's like bad; it's that he learned how to survive. His fighting style was learning how to survive, and sometimes learning how to survive is being a little brutal to your sparring partners or teaming up with Chavo, that sexy bastard. Yeah. You just gotta do what you gotta do.
There might be an issue with like this being an introduction of, you might never be able to find this high again. It's like when we started Super Sentai, we started with Die Ranger. Don't do that, guys, because Die Ranger fucking rips. And it's very hard, like in all facets of the monster design, there's actual character development with everyone. They all have their own individual story arcs, as well as an overarching story arc, that trying to find something that equals that or even comes close will be hard. So maybe watch other stuff and then come into this.
I don't think this is the best wrestling. I think this is actually the best for introducing of like what is like kind of what can wrestling be. And admittedly, like, yeah, you might like, because not everything has been amazing so far.
Oh, I think it has.
Oh, Matt Striker can suck 10 penises.
Well, I know, I'm saying wrestling.
Even wrestling wise, like there's been a few like, okay moments, even, but like I don't know. I just want an excuse to go back and watch early TNA, like pre-Hogan TNA, because I think that's also some phenomenal wrestling.
Okay,
well, phenomenal stories.
As you said yesterday, or on Straight to Patreon, you wanted Nicole to come on this show because it's great to see someone who hasn't been watching wrestling for a long time to get their take on stuff. So maybe right now you're just being someone who has watched a lot of wrestling.
I might be, to say like this is not my favorite. Like it's great, but like I'm also like, here's the thing, and maybe you'll watch this and you'll be like, oh, I like wrestling. Let me check out some other stuff, and maybe you'll be like, hey, I think I just like this. Either way is fine. I still recommend you start with this.
I'll say this is the best sober wrestling to watch. Like, Glow fucking rips when you're stoned.
That's fair. I'm still gonna say, dude, you have not seen some of that pre-Hogan TNA.
All right,
it's fucking great. There's a boy who was a shark who went into a coma and woke up and he thought he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. They put that on television.
All right, that's some shit I want to see.
Yeah, give me your shell, yeah, because he's a shark, so he says shell, yeah.
That's turtles, dude.
Fuck. Pentagon Jr. is working with Chavo Guerrero now, and it's very sad. It is so funny they gave him this backstory. I looked into it. I don't think Pentagon had been in Japan at all yet. And the origin, I was curious, like, are you familiar with the origin of the Pentagon mask?
No.
So Pentagon essentially came out, was like debuted to be the evil twin of Octagon. Pentagon Jr., the man behind the mask today, came back and there have been like several variations of Pentagon. I think and Octagon. I think at some point there's a Lady Octagon and a Lady Pentagon as well.
I believe there are because you can play him on this AAA game.
Oh fuck yeah, hell yeah! And so Octagon Jr. comes out and they're like, shit, we need a new Pentagon Jr. I forget who he is. The wrestler behind Octagon Jr. has a phenomenal career. Oh, it's Samurai Del Sol. Excuse me. But it's so funny to see and then Pentagon Jr., who still wears the Pentagon mask. He goes by Penta El Cero Mierdo now because AAA owns Pentagon Jr. But he's wearing the same mask just to see how far he's come you would never, if you didn't know he was an evil twin of Octagon Jr., you would have never guessed it. Mm-hmm. It's Venom to Spider-Man, where Venom came out to be oh yeah, he's the anti-Spider-Man. And then everyone just loves, he very quickly sort of creates his own identity. Yeah. And Pentagon, is the Venom in this case.
And of course, speaking of Pentagon Jr. and his look, Vampiro loves the aesthetic who looks the most like a juggalo.
Of course he does. Vampiro has been down with the clown since Vampiro, I heard, every time he sports a tent in his pants, aka a boner, that's the Carnival of Carnage. That's where it is. It's in Vampiro's boners. Yeah. So, respect that.
Vampiro got that thick hog, guys. Check him out in Vampiro, Warrior of the Night.
What a movie. Chavo Guerrero Jr. with Pentagon Jr. versus Phoenix with Sexy Star is the next match on the card.
Yeah.
Not the best Phoenix match, but it's a Phoenix match and a Chavo match, so it's fucking great.
Damn, when Phoenix jumps off to get Chavo and Chavo just jumps and does a standing drop kick. Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, it's that entire closing finish is beautiful.
And off from the bat, it's in stereo. Truly, it's one side of the auditorium and the other side. One screaming, "Let's go Chavo," the other screaming, "Let's go Phoenix." You can hear it in stereo. And I wish they had cut to Danny Trejo to see who he was rooting for.
Ooh, I didn't even think to ask. That's a great question.
If anyone knows Danny Trejo, ask him. Who was he rooting for?
Phoenix or Chavo?
Yeah.
Don't even, just ask him, Phoenix or Chavo?
I'm guessing Chavo.
I'm guessing Phoenix.
Ooh.
I think. I don't know.
I just feel like he might be friends with Chavo.
And I feel like everyone wants to be friends with Phoenix because he's cool and he's sexy and he does dope shit. Oh, there's so many the match is beautiful. They tell a great story. It's Chavo again, Chavo an all-arounder, but in Lucha Underground, really focusing on grounding out his opponents. And Phoenix is kind of untouchable in the air. He's Princess Peach in Smash Brothers Melee. The dude's got aerials.
Areolas, too, like Peach.
Great nips on this Phoenix here. And I'm trying to think, there's just so many. The Meteora, Phoenix jumps off the top with double knees. And there's supposed to be two knees to the shoulder of the opponent from the air. Chavo rolls through, grabs a leg, and turns it into a half Boston crab, a single leg Boston crab.
Yeah, and he's just
yo, what the fuck?
Spreading that cloaca wide on him.
Huge cloaca opening. This whole match is just, fuck. It's weird I get why Penta and Sexy are here. That's really the real story is kind of between Penta and Phoenix and Sexy and Chavo. They didn't really do a lot. Mm-hmm. They were just kind of there.
They do mess with, Pentagon messes with the stage. And of course,
oh, right.
Sexy Star's over there. And then the ref's what are you talking about? So, and then that's when Chavo's able to get the jump on him. But
yeah. And Pentagon leads directly to the finish of the match.
Yeah.
The reason Chavo wins, spoilers, is because Pentagon interferes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I'll rephrase. I don't know why Sexy Star is here.
But after winning, Vampiro's yeah, you want to know what? Good on Chavo. And Matt Stryker's saying, what are you talking about? And he's well, Phoenix was being arrogant. He was showing off, trying to display his power. But Chavo took his opportunity. I'll be taking my opportunity when Chavo isn't looking at that duffel bag of his.
Take an absolute dump in that turd's bag. Do you trust I would say I don't think I trust Vampiro to when he breaks that down. To say Phoenix has been arrogant, I don't know if I trust Vampiro that Phoenix is being arrogant. I think anytime a newer person kind of comes in, there is a common thread of like veteran entitlement where like, oh, you're the newer guy. I've been here for years. You have to look up to me.
I wouldn't say arrogant.
Vampiro would.
I don't think he used those words. What I think he was trying to get across was Phoenix had openings to pin and take down Chavo, but he wanted to make a display of like, I am stronger than you. You are old hat. Get out of here.
Which is also part of, which is also part of Phoenix's style is to, no, I know what my finisher is. I'm not gonna pin you until I hit my finish.
What he is doing is just soaking in the match.
He is not thrusting.
Nope.
He is leaving. In case you're wondering, like, they're not talking about that soaking. We absolutely are talking about that soaking. And if you're wondering, what is that soaking?
Listen to the last episode.
Just don't Google it, please. You don't want that.
Pornhub it.
Yeah, this match was fun. I also love, just like the one last spot I fucking loved. Chavo goes for the monkey flip. And instead, Phoenix catches him, puts Chavo on the top rope. And you think like, oh, wow, it's going to be a superplex or something crazy. He jumps on the top rope and just kicks Chavo in the head. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. He just super kicks the fuck out of Chavo on the top rope. I've never seen it before. I loved it. I love this match.
Chavo wins.
Chavo wins. Actually, right after that move, that's when Chavo falls down. Phoenix climbs to the top rope. Sexy, I don't know what she's talking to the referee about. I don't know why she's on the apron, but she gets on the apron and distracts the referee so Penta can dump off Phoenix, which sets up Chavo for his frog splash and the dub at 5 minutes, 43 seconds. Post-match, Sexy Star is not done with Chavo because she says, Chavo, I'm not done with you. Wow. Blue Demon is coming. She never says Blue Demon. She just says he's coming. He's coming back for Chavo, you pendejo. And it's very cool. I can't wait to see Blue Demon Jr. I can't wait to see Brian Cage as well, which is the next part of the show.
Sean.
Yes, James.
Cage is not strong because he works out.
No.
He is not quick because he runs fast.
Mm-mm.
He wins simply because he wants it more. What? He doesn't explain why he's fast. He doesn't explain why he's strong. He says why he's not, but then he's just like, and I win because I simply want it more.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this character of, I'm not special, I don't have superpowers. I think that's the big thing is like, I don't have, because we're kind of seeing bits and pieces of superhero or superpowers, sort of supernatural things are happening in the temple. So to be the character that's like, I don't have anything supernatural. I'm just a guy who really wants it and works hard for it. But conceptually, I'm fine with that. Structurally, anytime you start off anything, like a public speaking appearance, you start off with a bunch of negatives is weak.
Yeah, if that sentence I just said, which is verbatim, if that were a Jeopardy clue, people would be like, what is, I don't know.
Because you don't say what it is, you say what it's not.
Yeah.
And if he started off, even if you just start off with, I'm not a man, I'm a machine. Tell us what you are.
Yeah.
Like this thing, if we even get like one line of like something like, I'm strong, I want to win. And then you go into like I'm not a superhero. I don't have super strength. I don't have super speed. I don't have optic eye lasers that I get from a portal from the sun dimension. I don't have any but who are you? You have to open up with who are you as the hook so that because I would go on the ride of, and I'm not anything special. I love blue collar, I'm just a dude gimmicks. I do. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the epitome of blue collar, I'm just a dude, right? Jon Moxley's doing something like that now. Wolverine, to an extent, as far as like when you like some of the superheroes, is a very blue collar, I'm kind of just a guy. He does have abilities, but like at the end, who Wolverine is, he's kind of just a guy. This can work, but it's just like structurally.
Yeah. He says an incomplete statement. That is what this promo is. Just a run-on incomplete statement.
Yeah. He gets better, I bet. Oh,
But
we'll see.
Sean, at this time, they said, hey, it's our main event. I was like, wow, I must this went by fast. And then I looked and I said, oh no.
What do you mean?
There's 26 minutes left. Uh-oh. I was just talking about how matches don't meander. They feel fast. So I was scared for this match.
Oh, baby birds. And all the sweet baby birds going into this. Don't be afeared.
Don't be afeared?
Don't be afeared. let the beautiful warriors of the temple take you by the hand and lead you down a beautiful primrose path of violence.
But guys, this match fucking ripped.
Big Ryck versus Johnny Mundo versus Prince Puma with Conan for $100,000 in a briefcase above the ring, ladder match style, baby.
I think the next episode is going to start this how I thought this was going to end, which is it's going to start with in the locker room, Johnny Mundo opens up the briefcase and there's nothing. There's an IOU in there. It's just like I feel like this was to get his key back, and that's how it was set up of like, hey, give me the key, and then we're all set. Hey, hand the key, open it up. Holy shit, he got the key for nothing. I think there's not going to be anything in there.
I think there will be, because I think the money itself is the red herring. Right? Like if Dario Cueto doesn't pay off, we're going to jump to the end. Johnny Mundo, who's still holding the key for the quote-unquote insurance policy against Dario. He's holding his key. He wins the match. He finally gets his 100K he was promised from the beginning of the show. This whole 100K is a red herring. Like, Dario doesn't really care about the money at all.
He cares
has
about
money.
that key.
He cares about that key. So, like, if he doesn't, we'll see. If he doesn't pay Johnny the money, Johnny's still going to be hunting him for the key.
Yeah, but he still
the one
has
thing he
the
doesn't
key.
want. No, he gives him the key back.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. So the match ends. It's Dario comes out. It's fucking great. Johnny has a briefcase, and Dario's like, "Okay, great. You have your money. Now give me my key." And Johnny's
I thought
like,
he just punches him.
No. He's like, there's this big thing of like, will he, won't he? He takes the key, puts it in his hand, and he does knock out Dario with like a loaded fist with the key in his hand, but he leaves the key on his chest when he leaves the ring. Yeah.
Like, I leave steamy dumps on the chest that is a duffel bag.
Known by Chavo Guerrero, you sexy motherfucker. Like, I love that. I love that the 100K has been a distraction the whole time. It's not about the 100K at all. Dario's paying everyone. It's about this key and about the more sinister things that, like, even the commentary team's like, what the fuck is that key? I want to know.
I still don't think there's money in there.
But what would that accomplish? I would hate that as a decision, I think.
I think, and then like he's going to go try to steal the key, and it's hidden now.
Who's going to steal the key?
Mundo's going to go back and try to steal the key, but he can't find it. Like, it's no longer around his neck.
But then why wouldn't he pay him the 100K?
He doesn't want to spend money on these ads. Like, it's already been established he does not want to spend money. And if
I don't know if that's been established.
Because now he doesn't have to pay Big Ryck the bonus. Because in that fine print, it was, hey, you need to win this match to get that. Now he doesn't need to pay that either. He's a scumball. He needs that for cocaine.
It's never been about money. And I like it so much more because also this storyline is not about the money. So for him to not get it, it keeps that story open when it really, there's nowhere else for this story to go. The 100K storyline. There's a lot of places for the key storyline to go. And we should be shifting focus onto the key. And by leaving the 100K open, we don't get to put as much focus on the key.
I think this will then set out motion of, okay, now I'm all about the key. Fuck getting my money back. I'm going to take what you really want, this key now, and then that'll set off motions for that.
And we could do that so much cleaner if we close the money storyline.
I think they're going to do it beautifully. There's going to be no money in there, and then Sean's going to weep crocodile tears.
Because there is such a problem with like long storylines, like movies, TV shows, wrestling, comics, of just like keeping things open for the sake of keeping something open when at that point it detracts. Like if you're telling a long story with a lot of moving parts, you need to clarify your focus when you want to focus on something.
Yeah, and let's clarify our focus right now to this match, and let's finish this up because we have 4 minutes to do it.
This is a great match. There's so many fucking beautiful spots. It opens up Ryck and John.
Ryck, Johnny, and Puma.
Yeah. Pretty early on, I feel like almost immediately after Ryck gets dumped out by Puma and Johnny, he calls on Cisco and Cortez. So it's like this 3-on-2 match at times, but not even really. It's 3-on-1-on-1. It's and at first, like you tell me about that, this could be an amazing Puma and Johnny match, just 1v1 ladder. Yeah. And then you put in Big Ryck, who's like not really a ladder performer.
He needs 2 of them.
And then you had these 2 guys, and you're like, this is going to get... I was so afraid it was going to get too messy, and it was going to be like, no, it was handled, I think, beautifully. Cortez and Cisco come out pretty early, so you're not waiting. Like, that's the thing. If they had this beautiful match, and then they just kind of come out towards the end, which a lot of wrestling does, I feel like that would have felt cheap. It would have felt like we watched this beautiful match, and then like, I guess everything we saw didn't matter because here comes Cisco and... That's not what they do, though. They come out pretty early and are involved in the entire match. And they're not great at what they do, which is awesome because like they're heels and we're really excited. Like they're putting the rocket on Puma and Johnny. So for them to like just keep overwhelming these 3 dudes is fucking great. And they eat so many crazy fucking spots. They get the fucking tables, the ladders. I'm like scrolling down. I took too many notes, but there's so many beautiful spots on this fucking match.
They dive through the ladder. Puma does. That was beautiful. Like outside of the ring. That was dope.
Yeah, I love Johnny on the outside, climbs a ladder to put Cisco through a table. It's like all on the outside. Cisco's on the table. Johnny climbs up the ladder. Puma out of nowhere, like springboards from the ropes. Oh no, yeah, springboards up onto the ropes. So he's just standing on the top ropes, like not in the corner, just like on the top rope, kind of balancing himself with the ladder, and just pulls Johnny off and guillotines him on the top rope. It's fucking brutal.
We also need a term, like dad bod. You got like a gut a little bit hanging out from like your pants area if you have your shirt off. We need a term for it's not a gut hanging, it's muscle hanging, because Big Ryck has that. It's just like hard muscle, like muffin top. And it's like, dude, you are ripped, boy. Hell yeah.
Stud muffin top.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go.
Also, we got to talk about the Buster Keaton spot.
Is that the dental work?
No, that is. I think it's a Buster Keaton movie. It might be a Charlie Chaplin, but I think it's Keaton. There's a famous sort of moment in a silent film comedy history where they're putting together a house and the front of the house falls down. And I think it's Keaton who's just kind of like, it should crush Keaton to death, but he's standing exactly where the window is.
Yeah.
So it just kind of falls around him. They do that with the ladder and Puma. And it's fucking great. They straight up do. I've never seen this in a ladder match before. And whoever came up with that spot deserves a bonus on this spot immediately. That is so fucking cool. Johnny throws a ladder and Puma's just like, oh. And then he's a little tramp and I love him. I'm sorry.
We also see a lot of people's just like backs go straight onto these ladders. And like, obviously that hurts. And I figured out a brilliant business idea. Okay. Rubber coated ladders. And this solves a lot of shit. One, the slippiness of it.
I'm always worried about slippy ladders.
No, for real, like walking up and just instead of having someone hold the ladder for it to like move and slip, if there's rubber on the bottom, that's going to grab cement much more than just metal at the bottom. Also, maybe you're hanging up lights and it's rainy outside. Rubber isn't, it's not a conductor. It's the opposite. you're not going to get electrocuted on top of a ladder now. And most importantly, when you're wrestling with your buddies, you're not going to get it's still going to hurt a little, but it's not going to be jagged edge of metal. It's going to be a little bit of soft cushion plus metal of a guy. Like, you're not using a metal dildo most of the time. You're using like a silicone rubber outline on top of some metal.
Yeah, buy these ladders that James is selling, and you can fuck yourself with the ladder.
That too, you could do that.
I fucking love this match. I fucking love this match. I fucking love this match.
Yes, so like, speaking of this match, Sean, you need to find a woman who will just talk trash to a man like Big Ryck while she is in the crowd, because there is a woman who's just like, stay the fuck down, you piece of shit. And it's like, yeah, that's the kind of lady Jonathan needs.
There's the dueling chance for Chavo and Phoenix earlier. There is no dueling chance for this. Like, and they are loud. This is a very loud crowd for how much they fucking hate Big. Which, of course, you brought two dudes who were not in this match. You can't get disqualified. Technically, they can climb the ladder for you, which he tries to get them to do a couple times. I love that. Oh, I love that final spot where Big Rick's alone in the ring with his two goons, and he's playing defense while they climb the ladder. But Johnny is just too Johnny and fucking absolutely gets the. Also, can we talk about how Big Ryck needs two ladders to climb?
Yeah.
And gets booted in the nuts for another spot I have never seen. I think it's hard to say. I've never seen them. I can't say no one has ever Buster Keatoned their way through a ladder match before. But so, yeah, Big Rick's on two ladders. Johnny's kind of climbing them. And I love it that he's not just sitting there waiting for him. Big Ryck is trying to punch Johnny, but he just stays out of range. He just keeps, like, they're still fighting for it. And again, it says spots are great, but it's also those little things in between that, like, tell the story.
Yeah.
And so what he does is, like, he can't get up to the ladder. Big Rick's reach is too long. He can't climb up, and he already has a position of power. If he climbs any higher, he's going to get punched. So what he does is, Big Rick's, again, he's so big, he needs two ladders. Johnny kind of pulls them apart just enough to get that opening and takes him to Dick Kick City so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, you made him do the splits on the ladder so you could kick him in the groin? What is this match?
It's so fucking good.
I wonder how much, it feels like a lot of this is Johnny. Because Mundo has always been a very, well, what can we do that has not been seen before style performer? And this match has so many spots like that. Of just like, wow, yeah, we've seen a lot of people get put through a table, never quite like that.
Yeah. Or like, when the ladder is positioned on the ring a little bit and on a table a little bit, and Big Ryck, a tall ass man, like straight armed at above him, is holding Prince Puma and just props on his accuracy, throws him onto this ladder, and it just breaks right in half.
Yeah, absolute, like, lands beautifully. And it's so, you see some of these matches, sometimes the objects don't break when they should. It breaks so clean. It breaks so, it's a beautiful broken ladder spot. This match is this is a really, understand, like knowing Big Ryck was in the match and knowing Castro and Cisco were going to get involved, I also had reservations. Like, I was okay with being like, oh yeah, it's 20 minutes, it's a ladder match. Like, I'll give it time to breathe. Sometimes you gotta do that. But I was worried about, like, all the interference. It was done so well. This match is so good.
You also, in the crowd, as you're seeing it, there's a corner that is clearly like, hey, this is the wrestling internet corner, because it is all white dudes with flannels on, beanies, and beards. Like,
that could just be the Los Angeles corner.
Well, yes, but like that's clearly like one area full of them. And then there was this dude who looked like he was drunk, just like when Johnny Mundo was punching the shit out of someone, and it was right on the ground floor, and this dude was like, oh yeah! It was fucking great. And then my last note is Vampiro's talking about, like, yeah, man, it doesn't matter like how many Twitter followers you have, this, that, like, it matters how well you are in the ring. And he says, it doesn't matter how over your podcast is. Sean, we have an in. It doesn't matter we don't get a lot of listens.
Yeah.
Vampiro, guess what? You doomed yourself to be on this goddamn show.
Stupid motherfucker, Vampiro. You played yourself back in 2014 without even realizing it. Now you got to answer my dumb questions about your clitoris.
No.
Vampiro, get on here.
We're going to ask him how much was cut from that movie.
Yeah, and I want to ask him about his clitoris.
I do have another note that says socks, and then in quotations, check this out. I don't know what Socks was telling me I think Socks started jumping around and shit. And I was like, oh, Socks is seeing this wrestling stuff. Like he saw us watching Super Sentai and then him and Butter started beating the shit out of each other.
Fucking hey, your cats are crazy. This match is crazy. This night's crazy. Everything's crazy in a beautiful meld of chaos.
Sean, stop moving in your chair. Every time you do, there is a noise.
Yeah, fuck you. So that was the match. That was the episode. This is Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. It's a podcast. Vampiro, we're going to get your ass on here, you son of a bitch. I love you.
We're going to have you talk about the Dead Sleep Soon or whatever it's called, and Vampiro. Night Warrior. Guys, check it out on Amazon Prime. Then go over to patreon.com/MLM pod, where if you sign up for $10, you'll be able to listen to our discussion of that. Nicole's on it too. It's straight to Patreon, some of the funniest stuff we're doing, and it's behind not just a paywall, but the highest tiered paywall you can get. So check that out. But a lot of other funny stuff over on patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, you get new podcasts every single Friday. The Akiba Ranger episode we just put out, very, very funny. The Death from Above with Presley, super funny. Great stuff over there. And if you're a $10 patron, you get shout-outs on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command.
Like me. That dude. Oh, no, we're not doing this bit this week? Okay.
No, we don't have time. Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour. Alex Z, The Waz. Orion, he's a rapper. Defo, D-F-O. Kayla, a.k.a. Two Grapes. Jordan B, The Chaos Witch. My Bickle, my brother in common law. Joshua Jakis. Steve Barnes of Sweet Child of Time. Go listen to that podcast, ya mother bitches. And speaking of mothers, oh my God, it's my mom. And then finally, Lil Corey's BFF and roommate, Shane. Also, check Sean out on this week's episode of Formulaic, where he's playing Shaggy Rogers.
Or twitch.tv/GooseVK. The person who said that was me. Hi, I'm Sean. And that was James.
And we've been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling.
Johnny's gonna be pink blood for a week.
See ya, mother bitches.
Bye.
Oh,